Media.
Welcome back to Ignite Your Why podcast. I'm your week's host, DeVohn Jackson, video and audio editor here at Ignite Your Why podcast. And we're here to have genuine conversations with authentic people to help amplify the voice and figure out what ignites their why. So today's a little bit different this time. Instead of on the back end, we're in the front of the camera this time. And so what I wanted to do this time was go over a little bit about getting you more, well, let me rephrase that. I want to rephrase your mindset today. So today I want us to get a little bit more uncomfortable. Personally, I have had, just to peel back the curtain a little bit, and while we're getting to an episode a little bit more like this, in my life I've had I would say a couple setbacks that normally I would say, hey, I would have a pretty good job at getting done or even knocking out, booking of the sort. And there's been a couple of past clients and other things I've done that haven't actually been what they wanted. And they've gone different ways, have decided to do different things. And so I really got a chance to really dial back in and hone in into what makes Von J Media as a whole, because for a while now I've been here helping at Ignite Your Why, doing editing, and getting everything done. And if there has been any feedback or so, needing to take that and actually applying it, there's a whole bunch of things on that note there. But we'll go and break this into two different segments, okay? So the first segment we're going to do is talk about when life is lifing, but in the worst way. And then the second segment today is going to be about finding how to reignite your why, no matter where that is. That might look a different couple ways too. So we'll get into that when we get there. Okay. All right. So looking at this today, starting again with the segment one. So when life is lifing, but for the worse. So, we all have that mundane of, oh yeah, this is going okay for me. That's going okay for me. Well, now, like I said, I wanted to take you and put you in a place of uncomfortability, because we're just going to do some checks here. Okay. That's all we're doing. We're just checking in with ourselves and making sure we're good on all of our levels and making sure that we are all around a great human being. So think back at a time. This is going to be your chance now. Go ahead and think back at a time when it felt like just things weren't going your way at all. And I mean, think of it in the sense of it feels like that. Oh, I got out to the car and then my tire was flat. Then I got into the car and then my gas light turned on. After I filled up the car, then now my engine light checked on. Think of something or a situation where things might have cascaded in that way. So while you're taking that moment and doing that, I want you to think about how you felt in that moment as well. Feel about all those emotions that you might have had in that moment. So, like I said, for me, one of the first things that will come to mind for me would be anxiety, because for me, it would be, I'll just say in the example of our tire flat, being tap flat. For me, starting off, that might induce some type of anxiety on the inside saying, hey, all right, because this happened, now I'm thinking of the next 2, 3, 4 things down the road that that might be affected by that thing. And so if it's not too bad, I can try to look over it. But let's just say again, in this example, it's not that case. This is where we're getting just beat down, just getting beat, beat down. Okay. So while we're thinking and doing that, I'll go ahead and explain in the same way. So my thought process in it, or at least before. And so I would think is that same way. All right, I see that flat tire. Okay. That's kind of upsetting, kind of inconvenient. Normally the first thing I won't let take away from me or my day. But then when that second, third, fourth thing comes along, then it's, okay. Now, I can't lie, I am a karma driven person. So I might then start thinking oh man, what did I do? Was there something back there another day that I did that, excuse me, sorry. Was there something back there that I did that wasn't that I didn't do right or that mistreat someone a certain way, did I make someone feel a certain way? And so personally, that's how I would start like thinking once things go once things go awry more and more and more and more. Cause then I'm like, okay, cool. There's something in the forces. And funny enough, I'll even be sometimes be like, all right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No need to. We're good. We're good. And so sometimes, like, if you're like me, you need to take that step back and be like, hey, okay, there's a lot of inconvenient things going on at this moment, but it doesn't necessarily mean that karma is coming back to bite you in the butt. Ways to look around that is really trying to find a different way to change that mindset. And so that's what I wanted to instill into us. So now think of how you got yourself out of that situation. Were you able to by doing a breathing coping mechanism? You know, do you need to take a step away, do a walk and think? Are you someone that can talk it out right then and there? You need to talk your ideas out with one another and collaborate actually, so that then not only they understand where you're at, but also too, you might just need to talk it out. You just sometimes need to literally just blurt it all out and then it makes sense to you. Or you just needed to hear it out in the air rather than internally, because for some reason it just wasn't clicking to you internally. Now, one cool video I don't have with me at the moment, because I had a couple of technical issues, so I apologize on that note there. But there was a YouTube channel I wanted to recommend. It was called Big Think. And they had some really cool videos. Specifically, there was one recently about your different mindsets. So let me see here if I can get that actually pulled up here for us. What I'll do here is go over to, there we go. Boom, Lights videos. All right, so let's get to this YouTube channel here. And there was a really cool video that I watched earlier in the week. And I wanted to go ahead and give this to you as a resource to take a look at and look through and really just get a chance to like dive in and see, hey, like what are some things and ways I can even change my own personal mindset? Because it was really empowering, even for someone personally. Yeah, even for someone personally that is very, very positive person. I mean, especially if you know me, I am the one that is yes, yes, go, 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 go. I'm like one of everyone's biggest cheerleaders, almost everyone's biggest cheerleader, if you ask me. 100%. But let me get this pulled up here for you guys, and then we'll just watch a little bit of it here, and we'll go from there, okay? Here it is. Amazing. All right. So let me go ahead now and do a screen share. Oh, I got a lot. Yeah. Do that. Should have did that all right before here. Some sauce, everyone. So I got you here. We're just gonna go ahead and take a picture, not a picture, but take a look here, a little bit at this here. But I really wanted to get everyone's thought to look at uh, this video here. It was a very cool video that I got to see. It came out about a month ago, as you see right here, but it was talking about three subconscious mindsets, sorry, that we can have. But let me go ahead and play some of the video and then we'll come back to it.
More experimental lives. There are three subconscious mindsets that get in the way of us living happy, conscious lives. These three mindsets are called the cynical mindset, the escapist mindset, and the perfectionist mindset. The cynical mindset is when we have lost all curiosity and ambition in life, and we're actually sometimes even making fun of earnest people who still have this high level of curiosity and ambition. When we're cynical, we feel like there's no point trying because we're in survival mode all the time. So things that we might be doing instead is doom scrolling, sitting on the sofa, going through negative news, being stuck in this cycle, and then maybe even spending a lot of time and energy discussing and debating those negative news with other people. In the escapist mindset, we're still curious, but we have decided to let go of our ambitions. With the escapist mindset, we're trying to do everything we can to escape our responsibilities.
Yeah, but I wanted to go ahead and just have y'all take a big back look at that. So how she was saying there, we have those three subconscious mindsets that kind of really hold us back sometimes from having that positive mindset. And so I would give you a shout out to Big Think. That's YouTube channel on there. They have some really cool things on there. Just if you want to just have a different way of thinking and looking at different perspectives of situations that you can be in at the moment. And then just to tie in this second segment here, because I don't want to hold y'all up here all day. This will be a little bit of a shorter one as well too today. But what I also wanted to go ahead and have y'all take a look at, or at least the second segment we'll be talking about today, sorry, is reigniting that why. And so after getting to that place of that worst of worst, sometimes it can be as detrimental as you could possibly no longer be in the place that you're at anymore, or you can't handle being in the place that you're at anymore because of either what is going on or that mindset. And so that's where I challenge you to take a look at that video, really find out where you're at in that and see if we can change that. There's one more mindset in there. I don't want to allude to too much because I do want you to take a look at the video, but she talks about having an experimental mindset. And that's where I think coming back in and you reigniting your why, that's where finding out that experiment mindset, sorry, where it's really going to shine and where it's really going to come through and play through. So, a couple different ways you can probably do this. So let's think about this in a couple different ways. The first one is in your current role. So, what do you do in your current role now that you feel that you have maybe felt really good about or not so great about? And now think about your mindset. Think about those three subconscious mindsets that we were just talking about there. And so when you get to that point, now I want you to then think on or think back to this experimental mindset. And again, I challenge you to actually take a look at the video before going through the rest of this here. I'm going to refer back to it a little bit here and there because I thought it was a really cool video that I watched. But so in your current role, what are some things that you can do a little differently than you have done already? Because maybe you'll find yourself into maybe you'll find yourself into a mundane, a over and over type of carousel. And so maybe you need to take a step off that carousel, take a step back and take a look again. Take a look at the bigger picture. What are some of the company goals that you're facing? What are some of the goals that you're facing personally? Are they still aligned? If so, cool. What are some new ways that you can bring that into it? What are some ways that you can show that you're still aligned with the company not only values, priorities, but your priorities and values are also realigned? Now, in this same breath, and this can be in maybe the same company or somewhere else in the company, but this might be, or even in your same role. This one would be more of expanding your role. So this is okay. I have taken in everything that technically on paper my role covers. I've done it all, in retrospect, because how can we do it all really, if you ask me? But let's just say for this example, I've done it all. I've gone through it all. I understand it all. And I'm like, it's just the same now. I can do it in my sleep. That's my people who can do their job in their sleep. The ones that are just like, oh, yep, I got this down. I don't even need to think about it. What are some ways now then changing that mindset? Let's get experimental with that mindset. How can we expand in your role now? So, what are some ways that you might influence before, or you might have not influenced that now that you can? See, there are cool ways that in your same role, where you're at, or like we were saying, we can look at to even possibly different roles in the same organization that you're in, because that might be something that might excite you a little bit more. Hey, you still want to be with the company, you still want to be working for yourself. You just need to change it up a little bit, change up the flow. There's not an issue with that at all. That's where the experimental mindset comes into play. Now, the last one, and this is for anyone who has maybe done the first, maybe done the second, things that we just talked about in your current role. and expanding in that role. Maybe it's time for you to look for another role. Simple as that. There's times that you can outgrow your company, and there's other times your company can outgrow you. And so you need to take a step back and make sure, again, the company values and your values are aligned. And if so, hey, let's look at some ways that we can get that right. And that's again in that current role. Let's iron out everything there. If not, let's take a look at expanding in that role. Let's see where are some ways we can touch other places in the organization, touch other places at your business. Or maybe it's time for a new role. Maybe it's time to look to going on past your company, past the place that you started. Maybe it's time to finally sell off that company and start off your next one there. You never know. But it's only when we get into that experimental mindset is when we'll truly find out. Appreciate y'all so much for coming in, listening to us every week. Sorry we weren't here all last week, but we wanted y'all to enjoy your holiday as well too. But again, thank you so much. I'm going to have most of my links and everything in the description below. Reach out to me and let me know that you reached out from the podcast, just so I know where you reached out from. Because it's not, I most likely will lose you in the sauce there. I am revamping a lot of everything of the Von J Media brand so that I've been taking this into account. And so I've been reigniting also my why in a lot of places. And so the Von J brand will be a lot more active coming from its page itself. And that will be at Von J Media. That's VOHNJAYMEDIA media, if I said it right. So thank you for coming in here and tuning in with us. And don't forget to follow Ignite Your Why on all platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, we are there. So again, thank you so much. Join us back next week. Our host Austin should have a great guest to be back and igniting everyone's why. So thank you again. And always remember, find your purpose and ignite your why. We'll holler at you later.